This is Raid on St Nazaire, video number 5, turn number 7 in our series, and something unusual has happened. Before we get into that, may I mention that I make these videos in aid of a charity called Cure Parkinson's. You can guess what they're trying to do. There's a link to them below this video and one in the About section on the channel page. If you happen to have a spare dollar, euro, yen, yak or British pound you can send to them, I'm sure that they'd appreciate it. Now, let me turn you over to the other side of this camera and show you this oddness, and I think you may even agree with me. Okay, here we are on the board again. We've got some prepared charges here from Bradley that didn't go off last time, and a damaged bridge that we can try to lay some more charges next time around. But here is the oddness. I've put down some green markers here to help you and to help me visualize things. Where we've got a British commando unit, whether it's commando or an assault unit, I've got a marker there for each one of those. And you can see roughly got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a couple down here, and a few over here. This just represents where the positions are of the British units, whether they're the Italians playing the demolition units or the Brits playing the commando units. Bit of a spaghetti western going on there, but it's just where the units are placed compared to the Germans that are around them. Now, I had a quick count up. The Brits have got 67 strength points left in them, and Germans have got 75 strength points on the board in terms of their infantry, not counting the guns that can also add to it if you're adjacent to it and do some damage and blah de blah de blah. But here's the thing. Brits started off with 114 down to 67. It's not quite, they've lost half of their units there, but it's a big loss. And when I played a practice game of this, or a couple of practice games of this beforehand, I very much enjoyed it. I put some tokens down as a test to see how things all looked, but I didn't put the actual figures there, the people on top of the tokens. This is the first time I've done that. Now, the counters have names on them. They were the unit leaders that were actually there on that night of heroism or disaster, whichever way you want to look at it. And with people there and names, I've oddly developed an affinity to it. I don't want to unnecessarily put these guys, because they are guys, at risk any longer. There's a victory point number in this game of 70. We've mentioned that before. That's in the rules. But there's also a token representation of 53 points that would equal the amount of damage that the Brits did do on that night. And if we scuttle, if we manage to demolish the lock gate here and here with our delayed torpedoes and our delayed charges on this ship, we would get up to that 53 victory points, regardless of having this prepared charge here or this bridge getting destroyed. Now, getting people home also gives you a small amount of points as well as that. These boats here are going to give us a little bit each time, and they're mostly going to get home. Some of them already are at home. And that's how I feel I want to play it. I want these guys to go home now. They've done a terrific job so far. We've had some good rolls and some bad rolls, etc. But the Germans are only going to get stronger. I think that the way I feel with these people on here, because they feel like people to me that I want them to get home. So we are going to be abandoning the plan of trying to get into these U-boat pens. I don't think it's a viable job now, even though these could technically come around and try to take this. No, I want the guys to go home. I want these guys here to try and make it to one of these grey reinforcement areas, which represents them leaving the whole locale. And perhaps these guys running through and getting to this area here, and Chant and Smalley, who've done a terrific job down here, try to get through to this exit area. So that's the way I feel that I want to play it. And it's I know it's only a game. I know it's only plastic figures, but isn't it wonderful that a game like this can give you an emotional attachment in some weird and wonderful way? So I'm going to do most of the harbour defence and those early rounds off camera. You don't need to see all that. And I'll get back to you when we get on to the British movement and the combat phases, etc. Okay, so the German rolls to restore their lights and guns didn't do very much effectively. One gun was restored but couldn't hit anything anyway. But the guns that were available for the harbour defence, the greater harbour defence, did hit this near and far approach and absolutely smashed Stevenson and Tilly. They both didn't get home. Everybody else that was in open seas managed to successfully roll above a 5, and everyone's back home to Blighty for tea and biscuits at Mrs. Miggins's pie shop. Germany, on their activation roll, have got 5 more units on the board. So many that I'm running out of counters or running out of German infantry that painted ones needs to put down on the board. So I'm doubling up in a few places there, just for the moment. Their placement hasn't been that good for the Brits. One guy has appeared here and a second guy has appeared on this boat, meaning we can relieve the guy that's on the boat. He can start moving it out and towards the Brits that are here. We've got to get the guys home. We've got to get them home as fast as we can. Okay, so the Brits are exiting in numbers. So we've got a large lump here in this small little enclave, and we've got Masters come away from his U-boat pen adjacency, trying to get himself across to meet up with the rest of these guys here. The only guy who didn't move was Walton. I don't know why I didn't move that. Let me think about that. 1, 2, 3. He can actually get himself to there. That's probably a good idea. Don't know why I missed it. Bradley the Brave, he's staying there to set off his charges. Well done, you, sir. Woodcock has moved towards this boat here, and Byrne has moved back, allowing these guys to come off the bridge. But they're not going to go that way because of their doctrine numbers was going to force them in this direction. And Purden has rushed across, even though he's a demolition unit, into this square here with this German to try to protect Pennington here, trying to blow the bridge up from this side. And we got, whoever this guy is here, Roderick, as protection for later on in the turn. Let's roll the German movement number. The Brits are going to be hoping it's a large number. A 5 isn't bad. A 5 isn't bad at all. That means anybody with a 4 or less aren't going to move. A guy with a 5 moves 1 space. Guys with a 6 moves 2 spaces. Let me sort all that one out in my head, and then I will show you any important ones. Okay, with that quite high dice roll, there's only actually 2 German units then that can move into anywhere on the board, actually, because we were hoping this guy could move into Bern here, or rather the Germans were hoping for that, but there's only a 4-factor guy here. This guy's stuck on the boat. It can't be relieved because there wasn't enough numbers to relieve the lower unit, so they're both stuck there, back there. It's going to be this guy here with a 6-factor gun. He can move 2 spaces. 1, 2 moves him towards the Brits in some kind of direction, and this guy here is a 6 strength guy. He can only move 2 spaces, and the only space he can get to with 2 is into this big mash here of Brits. So if he can do it, then he's going to do it. It's going to be, well, suicide mission for him, I think, but that is what the doctrine suggests to me that he has to do. So we can roll that one out in common. Let me just take one of the guys from that boat, that double guy, and put him over there just for tidiness. Let's roll the British combat. It will be the Brits rolling first. We might as well use Burney and Newman here, who are the 2 assault units, versus this guy. We're doing one at a time because if one's successful, we might have another shot somewhere else, but I'm not sure if there's a shot across there. I don't think there is actually. So it's going to be just, I think, really 1 attack or 2 attacks versus this German guy, depending on how the Brits roll. So we go with Newman first. I believe Newman is a uninjured unit. He's got 1 damage on him, so we got a 5 or less. He's rolled a 6. Of course he's rolled a 6. But the firer is a assault unit, so as it goes down to a 5, and we're in the same area, so as it goes down to a 4. There's no searchlight beams, etc. can help out. Blah 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 blah. So we have scored a hit. Let me just roll the damage on that German guy, and I'll explain something to you in a second as well. We've rolled 5 damage on that German, who was a 6 strength. He would be down to a 1 strength unit now. He's knocking things all over the place. That's the first shot onto him. Let me just put the replacement token. I've got one somewhere. There we go. That's a replacement token for him. And we will have another shot from anybody else. it doesn't actually matter who's going to fire that shot. So it will be Bernie, who's a fully 6 strength unit there. He's going to score his hit there. This German is lost and gone. Now, thing is, one of the things I was going to mention, I forgot to mention it straight away, is I had a little crisis of confidence and a little redig. Did I get my searchlights correct right from the start of this turn? Because there's an operating searchlight here and it doesn't shine into anywhere. I had to double check and reread the rules. Why have I got 2 inactive lights down here? Because of this guy here. I remembered after a little while of thinking that Bradley here, staying here, is in area number 3. So these effective lights had to take their number 6 role for this one and their middle role for this one, which is why this area, even though it's got plenty of guys in it, it's got no lights in it. So long explanation of why I got things right, and I wasn't sure I did get them right in the first place. But let's roll Walton now versus this 4 strength unit up here. Walton has 4 strength himself. He's rolled a 6. It's going to be a miss, regardless of the pluses and minuses. And Moss here, who I think is down to 1 strength now, might as well spin himself around and try to hit the guy behind him. And that 6 isn't going to do any good at all. So that's the Brits up here that have done their firing. We can have a go with Burn versus anybody there in the adjacent area as well. Might as well go against the strongest unit that's in there. He's rolled a 2. Now, Burn is a 3 strength unit. He gets a -1 because he's an assault unit. And that, I think, is enough to hit that 1 German unit with 6 damage. Knockout. So that counter there has gone. We can chuck that in the parts bin. And we can look at what is a pretty important attack now, I think, down here. Chant and Smalley can both have a go. Chant is the stronger unit. He's on 6 so far. He has scored a hit for sure, even though he's got a +1 for being a demo unit. He's in the same area, etc. So that would be doing 5 damage. Wow. Okay, that guy is gone. It does leave Chant and Smalley down here a small glimmer of hope of coming this way and getting themselves out later on in the turn. We now have Purdon. Purdon the Brave, who is a demo unit, has run into these guys up here. Purdon is on full fettle as a 6 strength unit. He's rolled a 1. Well, nice, yes, because that's going to be easily enough to hit these 2 guys that are in here. Sorry, these 4 guys that are in here, and do 4 damage on this 4 strength unit. So it's clearing the way, if they can, to start getting themselves out of dodge. That gun there does have adjacency to Purdon now, and it is a 6 strength gun. Eek. Okay, I think that's all the British combat done. Let me double check all that and get back to you in 1 moment. Okay, so there is one leftover battle from the British combat. It's Swain here versus this 2 strength unit. Swain is a 6 strength unit, so a good dice roll from him could clear some more of the way. I think a 4 is going to be enough. He's a 6 strength unit. The German is in a hexagonal area, a square area, which turns the 4 into a 5, and the Commando is a demo unit, which turns it into a 6. But he's 6 strength himself, young Swain. Yes, so it does score a hit versus this 2 strength German unit, and it would do, well, miss the board, come on, 4 damage. Nearly wrecked the whole place there, but that does mean that that German is gone from there. My aims are terrible with my dice sometimes. So we now go on to the German firing. I think the first one to do will be up north. This guy here is a 4 strength unit versus Walton. So German is a 4 strength unit and Walton is in a square, so that's quite handy. 4 is going to be a miss for sure, because it will only get worse because of the protection that Walton has. There's nobody around this little group can take a fire. We've got this 1-2 strength unit trying to shoot Moss in the back. And he's going to fail with that roll. We might be lucky. We might get some guys out of here. We will have, I think, this 1 strength unit and this 1 strength unit could try to hit Burn here. Burn is out in the open, so there won't be any bonuses for that. So it's at a 1 or at a 1. That won't help out. And the other attack we can do is going to be this big gun up here. It's a 6 strength gun. Can it roll less than a 6? Yeah, it can. And it's Purdon in a square. So Purdon, put your tin hat on, please. And take just 1 damage. They duck down beautifully from that. Let me mark that off on the sheet. Purdon is up here. He goes down to a 5 now. And does he take any ammo loss? No, he doesn't. So I'm going to have a little look around the board with you, see if we can see any more German attacks that can be done. I don't think there's going to be any more. Double check, and I come back when we start the demolition phase. Oops, actually there is another German attack to do. It is this light tower, acts as a 2 strength unit versus young Swain down there. 2 strength unit. He's rolled a 3. I don't think it's going to be any help because Swain there is in the square himself. So that one's now covered. I may have done that wrong before as well, but I can't remember. I'm not going to go back through all the videos and try to rebuild everything. We have got this guy here, Pennington, going to try and laser explosive again on the... Turn the sheet over and knock things flying as I do it. On the demolition table, he has got to roll a dice. He's rolled a 1. That is for sure going to be less than his strength with the modifiers. It's not going to happen. So he's laid his charges on there for a second time. There's nobody else laying charges. We're going to try to get Bradley to try to get his charge to go off again after it was laid down the previous turn. Even though it didn't go off last time, it wasn't actually destroyed. It's just waiting there to go a second time. So Bradley's roll is a 2. It is the destroyed target, so we can put a destroyed marker onto here. Bradley the Brave hanging on nicely there, has done a sterling job. And Pennington trying to blow this bridge for a second time. Because he's previously damaged the target, it's a -1 to the dice roll. So 6 gets turned into a 5. There's nothing else to help us, even though the charges have been laid down there. Previously damaged turns a 6 into 5. That is all we can do. And I think Pennington's going to be spitting feathers about that. Okay, it's going to be, I think, just the German consolidation and advance the turn marker to turn number 8. I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, we're on to turn number 8, where the Brits are putting into effect Operation Get the Hell Out Ski. And something odd's occurred, apart from the oddness from last time, where I felt this real kinship with the guys and want to get them out of here. I've lost one of my beam markers. I've checked the video. It was there last time for light 342. It has just disappeared. It might be in my pile of dead ships and other counters, but I've been through it with a fine-tooth comb. Can't find it. But there's like rules sometimes when you're trying to do your rules. You can't see for looking. But I have done the illumination phase, which is where I found the counter was absent, and I've done the repair guns phase. This gun up here has got repaired adjacent to a Brit. This gun up there has got to be repaired adjacent to a Brit. That's not particularly good for the Brits. This one down here has remained unrepaired, so that is an okayish thing. So there is no actual naval movement here now. They're all back to Blighty, and it's now really just down to the race to get out for the Brits. So we'll start off now with the German activation, really, and On turn number 8, there is now no bonus or no deficit for this number. It is just going to be a 4 though, so they've rather got away with it again, the Brits here. And 4 will be 4 units brought into existence. I've got 2 in my cup that are left over from the level 2 guys. I've put them down completely around them. It doesn't look particularly nice for the Brits. And I've got 2 more to draw that are leftovers. Oh, sorry, are the level 3 guys, and we have these guys here going in. I shall roll the normal triad and start sticking them in places, beginning with 2, 3, 1, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so it's good and bad from that German activation. This one here in 2, 3, 1 is right behind Woodcock and Byrne. They won't be happy about that. I think they're going to try and come across this bridge, beat this guy up and try and get out of here with Chant and Smalley going that way as well. But before we get down to that, the other spawn points for the Germans, there was one here, ineffective really, because once Bradley crosses the bridge, this guy's got a long way to go across this this one crossing point that is still effective, the lock gates with the delayed action torpedo on it. One guy spawns here right next to, or right in the same space as young Swain, and if they're in the same number, they don't count. You take off your counter, it goes back into the counter bin, and the Germans lose one from being able to put down. So that's handy for the Brits. And the third one spawned up here in the reinforcement area. We can do the British movement as well. And we've had to make some hard choices here. Because behind this guy, it's a triple line movement factor. You need 3 movement factors to get through here. Young Moss here has only got 2 left. He has to do the decent thing, the hard choice, and turn himself around and say, "No chaps, I'll only slow you down, leave me behind." He could move to face this guy and have a better chance at doing damage, but then he'd be adjacent to all these guys. So that's a no-brainer. He's going to stay there in a square and try to hold back this one unit for what good it would take. This guy can take 2 movement factors across a 2 movement factor line, plus 1 to move into a square with another combat unit, adjacent combat, enemy combat unit. That's what I was trying to find here. So Swain is now freed up to move forward. He's got 3 movement factors, 1, 2, but he couldn't move into there and help out. Is it Wharton? It is Wharton up there. So he can only go 1, 2, and probably 3 and move into that square behind, because a square is safer than a circle. And all these 3 guys here are all on the same space. There's a single line goes from here to here, so they can go 1, 2, 3 and be in the same space as the light tower, and obviously try to knock out that light whilst they're there, and maybe try and find my token. I don't know where it's gone. It'll be somewhere. So there'll be some combat in all those places with those 3. I'll tidy it up a little bit in a second. Bradley here, as I said, he can cross over because he's the one that's put his charges down. 1, 2, 3. He'll be in this circle space just behind, desperately trying to catch up. And we will have, this guy's got 2 movement factors, 1 to go into there and 1 to engage that German unit. Woodcock has got 3 left. It says that. Is he still got 3 left? He does still have 3 left. Well done, Woodcock. 1, 2, 3. He can do that. And these guys here, I think Chant has got 2 factors. He can go 1, 2 into that square. And we might as well, 1, 2, 3, move Chant 1, 2, 3 into the further forward square. Sorry, I'm pointing the camera in the wrong place here. From there, 1, 2, 3 into that further forward square there. He could then engage that German if the German doesn't engage him. Let me tidy all that up so it all looks pretty, and I remember what I'm doing with this light up here. And I'll roll the German activation straight away so we can see how many moves they're going to get. It's a 5, same as last time round. So only 1 movement from 5 people and 2 spaces or 2 factors from 6 strength units. Let me do all this and I'll come back to it in a second with the German moves. There's only a couple of Germans that could move here. This guy here, 6 strength unit, he can move 2 spaces and go 1, 2 into there, being behind Woodcock and Byrne. I suspect Woodcock might turn around and have a shot at this guy, trying to join up with Smalley and Chant. These guys here are locked. They haven't got enough factors to move. One guy's moved around here, no problem. But this guy up here, 6 strength unit, he can move in to this one space closer. He's got 2 factors. He can't use the other factor to move in because it's only got 2 factors. He needs a third one to get into the opposition with the Brits there. So he will get a shot though into there on the German activation turn, provided he's still on it. There's no reason, there's no way we can actually do away with him beforehand. So we will have the British combat first. We will start off with Wharton up here. Wharton is still, I believe, double check on my list here, a 4 strength unit. So being though he's a demo, not a commando unit, he's got to roll pretty low. That's not going to do anything, I don't think. It's a 6 modified to a 7 because he is a demo unit in the same space, back down to a 6. His shot is ineffectual. That's disappointing, to say the least. There's not anything else we can do up here as far as combat is concerned. You can't shoot across the 3-line border into that. That just doesn't happen. We have young Moss trying to hold this guy back here. Moss is down to a single factor. The 2 gets reduced to a 1, but the German is in a square himself, back up to a 2 again, so Moss misses there, but it was a cracking attempt, I must admit that. Let's try Byrne first, who's the guy behind, who's down to a strength of 3 versus this strength of 2 German infantry unit just down here. It's a 3. It's a circle rather than a square, but he is a commando assault unit, so that 3 goes down to a 2. So he has managed to hit that German guy. Can he do damage? He does 2 damage on a 2 strength unit. So this guy gets taken out straight away. And we still have a shot that we can do from Woodcock, spinning around like a top and trying to hit this German guy. Woodcock is still a 6 strength unit, so he's got to roll really a 5 or lower. That's going to be plenty enough with any kind of modifiers that we choose to put onto there. And so what can we do? Woodcock versus Germans. 2 guys get taken out of this German division here, or small crew here. So we put that one over there and find a 4 from the remnants bin. There's a 4 from the remnants bin. It's ready for when Germany try to shoot back again in a minute. So the last shot we can take here, I believe, is going to be Chant versus this 2 strength unit. Chant is in full fettled himself, so he's got a 6 as a base number. It goes 4 up to a 5 because he is a demolition unit, up to a 6 because this guy is in a square, but because Chant has 6 health left right at the start, that counts as a hit. Can we take him out? Oh, we don't. Oh, we just winged him. So this guy here gets reduced down to a 1. And I think that is the end of the British combat. Now, oh no we don't. No we don't. I didn't move these guys. Quick bit of rewinding. I didn't move these guys. I got no idea why I missed that. He would have gone 1, 2, 3 because he's got 3 factors. We'll do that now. Nobody notices. 1, 2, 3. 1. Yeah, sorry, 2. 2 up to there. Get myself so confused sometimes. Both these guys can reach into here. Neither of those guys can get out this turn. And we do have this guy here still trying to prepare his charges. Yeah, we're going to be doing that. We're going to be exiting as fast as we can. They don't get any combat, these guys here. Obviously, because I was looking all around the board and missing things entirely. But you understand where we were. That was just an oversight by me. When Germany get to reply, this gun here is still adjacent to these guys up here. It's something we're going to have to deal with and hopefully successfully deal with it. But this gun here is also now back to life again and can have a pop back at our chap down here. Let's think about the German attack now. We got this 4 strength unit versus Wharton. He rolls a 1. That's definitely going to do damage to Wharton, even if it's a +1 because of the square he's in. And Wharton suffers just 1 damage. Let me mark that off on Wharton's chitty. Wharton goes down from a 4. He's now down to a 3. That means, 1 second while I have a quick cough. That's better. I had a flog in my throat. I could feel it tickling me. With Wharton here, he's now been reduced down to a 3 strength unit, which means his token gets flipped. It means he is down to 2 movement factors. It means he won't be going home either. Does he lose any ammunition? Yes, he does. He loses some ammo as well. But that's the way the leopard crumbles. Just marking that down on one side. Yeah, it's getting tight now for guys getting out here. I wish there was a rule to say that you could get out if you were a 2 strength unit. Obviously, if you're going to get on one of your boats and do that, then fine. But surely there must be some sort of caveat rule the guys could have got out of there. But there isn't, and I'm not going to start writing rules into this game at this stage. So after that guy having a pop, this guy from back here can have a pop. He is a 6 strength unit. It's not a square they're in, it's a circle, I noticed that. So there's no defensive bonuses for Wharton in there. That's the attack on him. He's lost 3 health points. We remembered he was a 3 health point unit from last time round. So unfortunately, Wharton doesn't get to go home. That's from the adjacent attack. That's not too good. Let me have a quick think about the order in which we do these German ones now. 1 second. Okay, while I was trying to think about the German order of firing over there, I remember I hadn't rolled these dice for the British attacking this light tower. I got guys stuck on there. I couldn't see what I was doing. It's me being stupid. We're going to do another rewind. We've got Newman, Burney and Swain in there. Newman's is a level 5 unit, so anything really about a 4 or lower. Plenty enough to attack that gun with. His damage roll against the gun is a 6, which is plenty high enough to put that gun at that light out of action entirely. So we just put a marker down there. I'm still a bit confused with where my light one goes. I'm going to be harping on that for ages till I find that counter. Let's just go back to the German ones. We've had our attacks down here that didn't work. We haven't had the attack from this fella here into young Moss. He is a strength 2 unit. He rolls at a 2. It will go up to a 3 because Moss is in a safe place. That won't affect it. We should look down here next. We will have this guy here, 4 strength unit, having a pop at Burn. He's the combat unit. That's the prescribed order of the doctrine. He rolls a 6. It will not get modified enough to affect Burn, so Burn is going to be all right. This German here is a strength of 1 unit. He's rolled a 1, but fortunately for Chant, he's stuck in behind a big square bin. That won't affect it. Now it gets a little bit nasty because we've got these guns here that can, this one can fire down this line. I don't think the long range effect means it can only fire into there, only that it fires on long range. Let me double check that one in the rules. 1 second. Yeah, of course, confusing myself with firing lines and long range fire, etc. It's a dotted line across here and across here. So this guy's got a legal shot versus young Pennington here, trying to set off his second set of prepared charges. Hopefully he will be alive to do that, because a 5 strength gun could do some real damage to Pennington there. So the first one, it's a 5. So I believe that's going to be a hit on Pennington because there's going to be no modifiers to change that up or down. Pennington needs to survive this shot, and he is on, where are we, 6 strength, so he could survive it. 3, he's now reduced down to a 3 strength unit. Let me just mark that one down. That's not going to be good for him. The second gun here is a 5 strength unit. that will fire in long range fire because it is the purple versus the purple area that Pennington's in. So that won't happen just this moment. But this gun here, a 6 strength, can fire against Roderick back there. 6 strength gun, it's hit at a 2, it's going to do some damage to Roderick, and just 2 damage to Roderick. Roderick will go down, oh dear, Roderick goes down to a 2 himself. I'm sure he's going to lose some ammo. He will lose some ammo. Oh, did Pennington lose some ammo? Yes, he did as well. So, actually, let me find him. Yeah, Pennington lost some. Roderick might have got away with that at the 2. Yes, because he did it. It's got to be higher than. So's we've got a reduced unit down here now, flipped to his reduced side. He's not going home. We're going to get Roderick flicked to his side. He's not going home. But that gun has now had its fire. We're now going to do the long range fire from this gun back down to here. It hits only on a 2. It's hit him. And the damage, I believe, is 1 strength point loss automatically. If I'm wrong, I shall come back and change it. So Pennington is now down to a 2 strength. He's got no more ammunition to drop anyway. But he will try to get his die roll done now for his demolition. The preparation has already been done. All he's got to do is try to destroy this with a -1 modifier because the bridge has already been damaged on the previous turn. There's no more combats for German to do. Just double checking that before I do another reverse, another rewind. And let's just roll Pennington's demolition job. It's a 4. It is a damage result, but it's been previously damaged, so the 4 goes to a 3. That target is actually destroyed. So Pennington has done his job here. He's down now to a 2 strength. We've only got 2 strength up there. Roderick, he can get out, and these guys are going to try to make their way through. That will happen in video number 6. Turn number 9, they'll be upcoming shortly. Until next time, be cool.